I got I think it was like 2 weeks before or something like that down in Deep South. Paul Heyman had come down. And by this time, like, everybody knew ECW was about to get going, and we all knew they needed workers, and like we all knew that they were looking at us hard, so we really had it cranked up. And I was in good shape then, and I thought I could do anything in the ring. And Paul Heyman came in, and we cut some promos for him. And at that time, I was very comfortable in my character, in my Deep South character. And Paul pulled me aside, and he's like, "Hey, listen, man." He's like, "I dig what you're doing." He's like, "When this thing gets going, I want you up there." He's like, "I think you could be one of our champions, man." He's like, "I see that in you." So I'm all fired up now. And then, I was sitting there waiting. And then I want to say it was like right after one of the classes, Bill pulled me back into the office. We were kind of shooting the shit, and he was kind of like laughing, and he was like, "Okay, man, don't embarrass me." He's like, "You're up." You're up, man. Show them what we got. So, yeah, Bill told me to go up there, and I had the long hair. I had no idea what the character was. I found out when I went up there, like when I got there, that I was going to be with Kelly, whom I had met maybe a month and a half before that. She came down and did a little bit of tryout at Deep South, but she didn't really know much about wrestling. So they're like, "Hey, you're going to be with Kelly." And then like my instant thought is, "Oh shit." You know what I mean? Like, cause I've been around long enough to know, like, if there's 2 new wrestlers and one of them's some dude, and then one of them's this beautiful, immaculate woman, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's looking at the dude. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? They all want to know what the girl's doing. So I was just kind of sitting there. I was like, well, shoot, man. Yeah, it's okay. I'll show them anyways. And, we all saw how that worked out too. So yeah, man, it was, but awesome. Awesome, man. What an experience. I went up there and Vince was like, "Well, I don't see Kelly's boyfriend looking like this." And I was like, "Oh shoot, I'm getting fired already? Damn, I didn't do my match yet." And they're like, "All right, come with me." And this is the first time I'd ever talked to Vince besides like, "Hello, sir," that kind of crap, like me crapping my pants or whatever. And, he sits me down in the barber's chair and cuts off all my hair and like cuts my beard off. And I'm just like, what kind of character am I supposed to be here? Like, I thought you guys saw something you liked and you wanted me to run with it. And he's like, no, you're just going to be a jealous boyfriend. And that was pretty much the end of it, like all of it. So they kind of left it wide open, man. And I just, very confusing time for a young man trying to live his childhood dream of being a professional wrestler on television. No, not a whole lot of guidance, brother. Not a whole lot of guidance.
Which is weird because you figure, let's say, you're new to TV, she's super green. You figure that they'd kind of hold your hand a little bit and say, "Hey, this is exactly what we want from you. This is a character. You're a heel, jealous boyfriend," but be a little bit more descriptive, no?
Yeah, I wish, man. They had her out there doing dances and stuff, and poor Kelly. I mean, she could dance for a normal person, but to look like a pro and do all that stuff, like, man, she had to work hard at that. I remember them practicing for hours and hours before the shows, like just on the dancing part, let alone the matches and any little spots or anything that we had her do it outside. Like, it was, they put her through it, man, at the beginning. And, thank God, she had a great career, lasted a long time. I think she was even a champion at one time. And her wrestling really, really came a long ways from the first few months that we were there. And it's not like it wasn't her fault. She just didn't know any better yet. Just that's just kind of the way it went. She was in the right place at the right time, and she she got a good opportunity, man, and she cashed in on it, and I'm happy for her.
Do you think that you were getting over at this point because you're covering her up, she's pretending to strip and things like that? Did you feel like you were getting over with the crowd at all?
I did for like the first 3 times I did it. And then like every other time, he was just kind of like, oh, like kind of a big fart, you know. I just, you know, maybe you can help me explain something. In what world is a nice, clean-cut gentleman trying to stop his love, his beautiful woman, from getting naked in front of a bunch of people, and I try to stop her? How does that make me a bad guy? Everybody, they hated me, man. I thought I was the good guy there. I thought I was a baby face, man.
Hey, don't all the bad guys always think they're the good guy, though? Isn't that the essence of them?
Well, what do they say? It's right and wrong is all the point of view that you take, I guess.
Yes, exactly. It is interesting with you at this point because it's almost like they're like thinking about doing something with you. They might give you a push. You start feuding with CM Punk a bit. It's kind of like you said, there was no real like direction or anything, but it seemed like you were on the cusp of something. Did you like feuding with Punk? Did you enjoy wrestling CM Punk?
I was so excited to wrestle CM Punk because if you remember, right when I first went in, I had a run with a lot of the ECW originals. Like I had the big run with Sandman, I had the big run with Balls Mahoney, Sabu, and like Tommy Dreamer. I love working Tommy. He's the one that, like I said, he's the one that really helped me get hired in the first place. So, I mean, me and Tommy had awesome matches, but then that all ended up fizzling out too. And, you know, with the originals, they knew how to get over. They knew how to put some butts in the seats, you know what I mean? But it's like when you're just coming out of, you know, deep south, when you're doing 500 squats a day and you're like, you know, some of the toughest guys that are ever in the business come down on Saturdays and like teach you how to like work, like really work hard. And then you're in there getting, you know, just smashed around, but with kendo sticks and chairs and, you know, everything under the sun. And like they're putting you in kind of like shitty arenas, like smaller venues. Like they're trying to recreate the ECW, but I mean, we kind of knew that they set it up to fail, really. I mean, at least in a lot of our opinions, that they kind of set it up to fail. They were kind of waiting for the ECW guys, like the original guys, to shoot themselves in the foot, and then like it'd be like, okay, I told you, Paul, it's not going to work. I told you, Tommy, it won't work. Like that kind of stuff. So really, whenever I got a chance to get in there with Punk, I was like, okay, this guy just came out of OV-Dub. You know what I mean? Like he was a big deal, kind of. Like I didn't really know they'd be seen all that great. You know what I mean? But I knew he was over like Grover, bro. And, you know, we started doing our little thing. And like, I think the first match was like, I want to say it was like a house show or something in Tucson. And like my flight was delayed and like I was on the plane drinking all day. And it's like, dang, man, like I ain't going to make it, boys. Like, sorry, like I can't get there, like blah, blah, blah. And they rented like a car for me and drove me 4 hours. And it's like, uh-oh. Shit, I was drinking on the plane. I didn't think I was going to make it to the show. Who am I working? Oh, shit, I'm working Punk. He's straight edge. He's going to hate me. I'm going to be sweating booze all over him. Like, you know, we went out there and it was like, by the time I got there, I had changed in the damn car and the music was playing when I got out of the car. We're like, hey, man, you're on third. I was like, shit, I ain't going to make it, man. All right, well, you're on sixth then. So, you know, we get there and like, we just kind of look at each other and he's like, what do you want to do, man? I was like, I don't know, man, work my leg or something. I don't know. Like we never worked together. So, you know, we went out there and we did about 15, 20 minutes and, you know, it was a little rough the first match, but everyone after that was money, man. Like we had good chemistry. Everything was right on, man. Right on. I loved working with Punk. And you know what? He you know, I did. I went out and partied after the matches and stuff a lot. And he, you know, he would come along too, but he would never touch nothing. He never judged, you know, he was never like that, you know, which we all kind of thought like, oh, straight edge, like what a gimmick, like he's going to be like a stick in the mud or, you know, a wet blanket or whatever. And you know what, if nobody knew anything better, like he's just one of the boys, man. He never judged. He never, you know, he was never weird like that. He was always so cool to me, man.